Hello and thank you for joining me on another video. We're here in Redridge, and if you were watching last episode, you'll know that I don't really like Redridge. And there are a lot of reasons that I may or may not remember to get into throughout the video. The first of which is how many mobs you have to kill. It just doesn't feel as good as a lot of the other zones that you encounter. Jumping off the tower respawn though. That mixed with my... I've done this zone a lot, but I don't remember it very well because I usually quit my characters as soon as I get tier, just because I hate it so much. So like the end half, I know everything that happens, but I'm really bad about the order in which it happens. I thought I was gonna die here, to be honest. I thought I was gonna, in 2 episodes in a row, die. It was just gonna be embarrassing. But I made it out, thank God. But yeah, so I made a lot of mistakes in my pathing in this. At one point in the future, soon near future, I end up having to backtrack an incredible amount of time. I do remember leveling a lot with my friends in this zone back in Legion. It's still really good to dungeon level right now. I'm actually leveling druids for the All Druid Guild, Cult of the Loon. Shout out. No affiliation at the moment. But yeah, check them out, they're pretty cool. But yeah, we're currently leveling druids. Made it through Redridge for a little bit. Quit, went to WoD, started doing WoD dungeon leveling, and it's been pretty much a level per dungeon, and dungeons take like maybe 15 minutes, depending on which ones you get. I'd say WoD is a pretty good expansion to dungeon level through. Alright, what was I saying? Legion, yeah, back in Legion, leveled through Redridge a shit ton. And primarily dungeon level. I think it was the last time I was here, I was leveling a Prot Paladin. And it was pretty fun back in Legion. Legion was just a fun expansion. There was so much that you could do just to enjoy yourself. The legendaries were fun, the class halls were fun, the raids were great. Mythic Plus, I think, had just come out, so it was like fresh. Had no complaints about it.
Need help? Go with honor, friend. Life bless you.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get into Mythic Pluses on my raiding character. I play a monk, an orc monk. I'm almost full bis. When I say no affiliation with the All Druid Guild, means I'm not technically a raid member yet. I come to their multi-class with my monk. They appreciate my monk buff. I feel like I've said monk about 10 million times at this point.
How are you?
But yeah, going to an primarily all druid multi-class raid. Everyone there is still primarily druid because they're trying to gear up for heroics. They can't get to mythics. There's just not enough gear to move around for that. But yeah, monk's almost bis, full bis. I've gotten really lucky. I've gotten a bis piece out of the vault each week as well, as long as like a couple pieces per raid.
Well met.
I love that out of all the quests that change, this one stays the same. I don't know if it was a reference or if somebody in Blizzard really liked it, but I'm fairly certain Belly Grub exists, even in Classic. And I think it still gives the same reward, just a bundle of flowers if I'm correct. So this is the first instance of one of the issues I have with Redridge, which is just the use of the lake. And I understand, the lake takes up a massive part of the zone, but I cannot stand fighting mobs in the lake. Or any quests taking place underwater, unless it's like Vashir, which is a zone I actually really enjoy. Haven't played it in a while. I thought this was kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. That's why I left it in. I felt like such a badass. My green cape, my mismatching clothes. Yeah, I've sort of figured out the path I want to take. I believe I'm gonna move south, finish up Stranglethorn, and I think there's a zone next to it. I can't remember. Either way, I'm gonna finish up the south, and then I'm gonna move up north and finish the rest of the Eastern Kingdoms, and then move on over to Kalimdor, whatever might be over there for me. I really haven't done a lot of Kalimdor in Alliance. I'd like to see it. See, by this point, I believe I've already wiped maybe 15 minutes of footage of just me slaughtering the local wildlife and moving around and swimming. I was trying to be as fast as I can. It was just so hard to. Maybe it wasn't even that long, to be honest with you. I think the original recording was only an hour and maybe 20 minutes. I think I'm just jaded about it. I think I just don't like it. That's probably all it comes down to.
What can I do for you?
That's not to say there's not some cool things about Redridge. It has a lot of interesting quests, like the giant over there that you can see, the mind control the giant, lift boulder away, or later on, you know, you plant the Sephorium charges. That's pretty cool. The vehicle combat where you're not really shooting stuff, but it still feels like you are. I don't know. Redridge definitely has an issue of. You know how people complained that they no longer felt like an adventurer, but more like the hero of the world, and that's why people enjoyed Classic. In Redridge, it's like you're the gremlin of the four heroes, which are I believe the Bravo company. You're like their driver. I think that's the best way I can describe it. And the repeated asset use, I don't know what's going on in Redridge. I better stop complaining. I'll wait until I have better complaints than repeating assets in World of Warcraft, which is incredibly common and accepted pretty much everywhere else. Here, you'll notice that cut, and I was struggling to find a spot to jump on. I don't know. I was thinking too hard. I was thinking way too hard about it. It took me like 15 seconds to finally jump up onto the ledge. Yowler's absolutely insane. I've always wanted to know what kind of creatures bones belong to, you know, like, because like they're massive, and I don't know of any creature in Redridge that is that massive, except for like the fish creature that's in the lake.
Well met. Be careful.
Here we are, saving his life. I don't know how he survived this boulder on him.
Need help? Light bless you. Go with honor.
Yeah, I think now that I think back on it, it really didn't take that long. It really didn't. Here's where Redridge gets both interesting and I think in the wrong direction. Just gotta save the man from the cage. I will say Redridge is beautiful though. It teeters on the edge of barren, but like just enough to make the contrast actually good. And I end up pulling mobs that I didn't realize were ranged, which causes me some grief. Felt a little bit like an idiot. I'm now fighting 2 ranged people. Next we gotta steal the key, and they won't know what happens. They won't see it coming. We'll just come right up here, nab the key, right on out, and turn it in. None the wiser. None the wiser. Using a little bit of magic, I've teleported all the way across the map. While I don't like the storyline, I will commend the writing, the effort put into Redridge. I do wish more zones had interactions like this, and I do know that some of the zones, I think one of the Plagueland zones, actually with Fiona and the carriage, you get kind of attached to those characters. I think that is well done. Well done compared to this for sure, and just a really good experience overall. I'm actually looking forward to going to the Plaguelands. So this is a point where I really mess up, and I have to go back, which is completely on me and not on the zone. Just not paying attention. I was just trying to get it over with. There's a quest turn-in right there. You see him on the altar right there, and I kill this creature, I kill this mob, and I completely skip over him. Which was the world's most time-wasting mistake. But it's okay. We recover. We move on quickly. And then here's my second mistake. I've decided to speed this up so you don't have to suffer through it completely, but also get to witness what I did. I should have known. I should have known that they wouldn't follow me down here, but I didn't think about it. I just sort of jumped in. At least they kept his attention, and I didn't take much damage until I tried to taunt him back so they would cast on him to make it a little bit quicker. And I think it did help just like a little bit. Just a little bit. Not worth it though, because I almost died. Like I gained too much aggro on him. I can't believe I didn't die here, but I'm so happy I didn't. Now we can move on. So yeah, and with that, the gang's back together. There were 5, not 4, like I thought.
Well met. Be careful, or the Alliance.
Here's where I make my third mistake. They all happened in the same spot. I didn't think about how this mistake happened. I don't know if it's a mistake, but it has to be. There is no way that you get sent all the way back to a cave to pick up these items that's right next to the creature you killed. There's no way that's a mistake on the questing, but I think it's a mistake on my part, and it wasted so much time. In an effort to make the zone that I dislike the most quicker, I just made it take like 30 minutes longer. And stuff like that is super easy to do. Like eventually, while you're questing, you're just tired of killing shit. So you just zoom past it, pull like 6 mobs. You're like, I know it's about to happen, but I still don't care. So you just keep running. You pull more mobs. They stun you. You die, and you just know if you had just taken your time, you'd probably be far beyond them. But now you have to ghost walk back.
Need help?
Sometimes you, or at least I, try to make myself feel better by going to the very edge of the ghost walk zone. Here's another example of underwater. This quest feels like it takes forever. And I feel like I did it as optimal as I could without having like effects that can help me in underwater, save for the warrior jump. And you just have to move towards mobs while you're killing one. Look around for more. But if you can't find more, you gotta swim all the way onto the other side of the lake. You have to kill like 8 to 10 of them. I don't know what the drop rate is. But yeah, Vashir. I'm excited to get to Vashir. It's a long ways away. Potentially many months, half a year maybe. I realized that I don't think there are as many zones that I have to do as Alliance in Classic. The Classic vanilla area. I think I originally thought there was like 42, but I don't think there's that many. Not quite that many. At least in the achievement, there's not. And the achievement is what we're going by. That's not to say I won't do the bonus objectives in each zone. This, I almost died again. I pulled this fox, and I pulled that fox, and I thought it was just a, you know, one of those tiny mobs that have their really small health pools, but no, it's a full ass mob, and it deals so much damage. This is the beginning of the quest chain that I was talking about earlier, where you place the Sephorian bombs. I messed up the chloroform here, ended up having to kill him. This episode is really just embarrassing. It's not too bad. We just teleport on over, use the key on the cage. Then we teleport to our next objective. Distract them, plant the bomb. You know how it is. I have one more teleport in my system before I'm all out of them. I don't know how they don't see me, but I'm happy they don't. Here we go. We plant a bomb amongst the bombs, which makes it a super bomb. And then just like that, quest turned in. Done. I think that axe was better than what I had, but I couldn't give up my sword just yet. I just got it, and I like it too much. As you can see, we have to kill 20 gnolls. I don't know why 20. but it makes me sad. But next I think next I'll be going to Duskwood, and then I believe Northern Stranglethorn, and then Cape of Stranglethorn after that. In between here, I'm also working on smaller things like blacksmithing, fishing, mining, cooking, just to get those up to par before I finish off all the zones. Point I'm only halfway through. It's moving along quicker, mostly because I can cleave. This quest just makes me so mad on characters that don't have cleave. Like if I'm playing a single target focus class, it's just not it. Because quests like this in Classic, right? You kill a lot of mobs, you get a bunch of mob XP that helps you along the way, right? This, not so much. You only care about the quest XP, really. Mob XP is okay, but quest XP is where it's at. When I break the barrier in front of the tower with a quest item that I have there, you have to kill the boss at the very top. Very similar to the Westfall one. Very similar. But with a little bit less of a cinematic situation. I don't want to bother with them, I just run away.
Need help?
Here we go. My favorite quest in the entire game. Not the entire game, my bad. The entire zone. My favorite quest in the entire zone. I mean, you just mow down all of these orcs. Well, you don't. You're the driver for the hero of the story. But it's still cool to see. I mean, you got dragons falling out of the sky, orcs exploding, green bile shooting out of them. I mean, what's not to like? A lot of times I'll just sit up here on this hill, if I make it this far into Redridge, and just let them just blast away everything. It's just cool to watch. Yeah. It makes everything not too bad. Makes me happy. I will admit though, when this first released, and I can't remember, when was CATA, like 2011, I think? When I was about 11. I ran through the new Redridge, and my character, his name, he was a human warrior named Artshiel, and he was named after Sword Art Online, and I wanted to be just like Kirito and be super cool. I think, was that around back then? Maybe I'm getting kittens mixed up. Either way, I wanted to be super cool. I wanted to do all this. I wanted to do the zones. I wanted to be a big member of the WoW community. But I was like 11, so that wasn't going to happen. I thought this was cool. I wore Kishin's bandana. I wore Kishin's bandana for so long. And to be fair, it is a cool ending to the story. It would have been interesting to see if they did anything with these characters had they not killed them off. But if you don't know, spoiler warning, these guys die. And you can get this dragon down to 1% forever, well, until the event ends. And still the dragon just carries them off. And they all go and die off in the sunset. Well, they fall into the lake. It's about the same thing. You see, I get him to about 1%. He doesn't die. He just does a bunch of RP and then moves on. There's Keishan's bandana. I actually really like that reward. It's cool because like you're not at the level to get a helmet yet, but you got a bandana. It just makes you feel a little bit badass. And there we go. There we have it. Redridge. I hope you guys enjoy. The next time we'll be tackling Duskwood. Thanks, and goodbye.